So here's the thing. We are gonna talk about the games. We are gonna talk about some hockey stuff, but there is obviously some COVID stuff that's been brewing that I want to talk about, and I'm taking this directly from Elliot Friedman because, as far as I'm concerned, the 32 Thoughts blog on this is the best reporting I've seen on it. In terms of like written word. And I know CJ and Julian mentioned this yesterday, but we're just updating it today and they'll update it tomorrow. It's sort of like ongoing. But as of right now, pausing the schedule, everybody's worried about that, right? That's going to be the last resort. And I think I was watching Tim and Friends yesterday, and Arash Madani, they talked to him about, they had a whole panel on, but Arash Madani made a brilliant point, as he's known to do. And, you know, a lot of people are saying, well, what if they pause the schedule? What if they pause the schedule? And I think he summed up perfectly why they won't. He said, because you got to remember, he's like, and he put it into context of what it was like being a Canadian reporter in the United States in Atlanta during the World Series, and how people were openly laughing at him for wearing a mask in an elevator. You know, in the States, he's like, in parts of the United States, it's been declared over for a while, and they're just not going to go back. And he said, these owners, in whatever sport, as long as those checks keep coming in. Yeah. So
you can't end what never began, Adam.
Well, and so my thinking is here, you know, I know there's a lot of anxiety surrounding this. I get that completely. But I also want to remind everybody, you know, if you're listening to this and you're worried about losing hockey, because for a lot of us, especially in lockdown, man, that was a lifeline for me. Like, at least we got to watch some hockey games because I was stuck here standing in the basement trying to do the podcast with you guys, and it was really tough.
Dude.
One of the things that I want you to keep in mind is that we did a season, 2 seasons, unvaccinated, basically, right?
Yeah.
Like, we did a half a season, like, we did 2 Stanley Cups, basically, you know, without vaccines.
Sorry, can I get this out?
What?
I'm laughing again because when my wife was pregnant, I was like, oh, cool. He's going to be born, like, as soon as the season's done.
Oh, man.
And it's literally the only time in history that hockey was played in August.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually, you guys, it was perfect timing. You guys, it was going to be like a week after free agency ended, and it was going to be perfection, but not so much.
He was due July 7th, 2020, 7/7/2020.
So what he said is, what's more likely is a return to much tougher protocols, reminiscent of last year's challenging 2020 season, mask wearing at all times, staying in your hotel room away from the rink, no restaurants, movie theaters, team parties, you name it. Teams moving from testing every 3 days to testing every day. And, you know, it's interesting, kind of, you know, Tucker Pullman and Morgan Frost being pulled from last night's games. I think as of 15 minutes ago, if I'm not mistaken, another 7 or 8 Flames have been added to the COVID protocol list.
7 and Daryl Sutter.
Yeah. And so, you know, so they're at 17 team members, 7 players, 3 coaches, 7 support staff now in COVID protocol. You know, I think the thing is, you know, we sorted this. Like, how is this not going to happen throughout the year? I felt like it was going to.
This long.
Yeah, I felt like this was going to happen. The question now is, I think it's less about canceling games, and I think it's more about in what jurisdiction are people going to be allowed to go. I know that the Ontario government's talking about maybe limiting people being allowed to be in Scotiabank Arena.
They limit capacity.
Yeah, and it's hard for people to stomach that because it does feel like you're moving backwards, and there's a lot of people who are like, hey, I got both doses. In the States, by the way, you can get your 3rd dose. You can get your 3rd dose right now. You can, like, I went on to Walgreens in Pittsburgh just to look. If I took a flight to Pittsburgh today, I could go get my 3rd dose and be back by this evening. That's like, seriously, I could do that. And in Canada, it's like, well, no, we're going to do this 50 plus and then 40 plus. And the other problem is, and the owners raised this, and I thought this was interesting, when it comes to guys like Tucker Pullman and Morgan Frost being pulled mid-game, part of the problem I think that we have in Canada is that the access to rapid tests is just not the same here as it is in the United States.
No, you can buy them.
Yeah.
But, like, we need much, much better access to them.
Yeah, and so you're getting guys who may have tested positive for COVID pulled in the middle of a game. Yeah. That's weird, right? Like, that's a problem.
It's beyond weird. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's been happening, and maybe we should have said something about this earlier, but that is weird that's gone on the entire season, right?
So it's because of the privately owned healthcare system that they have in the States. because it's private, they can just make testing free, and they can just make it testing available. So Friedman actually wrote that in the blog. He said some US-based teams think a big part of the problem is slower test results in Canada. There are more options for privately owned testing south of the border, and they feel lengthy wait times for results lead to greater risks of outbreaks when playing in Canada. So it's because the government, the evil big government, controls the testing up here.
We're not, listen, we're not doing the greatest job, but they're trying, I think.
Yeah,
we're giving the best. But I'm giving everybody, whatever your party stripes, I'm giving everybody the benefit of the doubt where possible here. No. Do I think it's been great? It hasn't been great. No. Now, let's move on to what that means for your team, right? Because one of the things Friedge mentions here is, hey, you can't have rosters crushed by COVID and then keep playing and not be allowed to bring people up. The whole argument about, well, you should have managed the cap better, like finger wagging. That has to change immediately.
The no taxi squad thing.
I don't know why we knew. So like I just started this off by saying we knew this was going to happen at some point. Yeah. Why get rid of the taxi squad?
Common sense.
I think they banked on it not happening. I think they thought because the vaccines were already available and there's literally all but one NHLer and all but one AHLer not vaccinated, that, hey, this will be fine. We can get through this, and it'll be like October and early November when it's just like a couple guys out because of the protocols, and that this is just how the season's going to go. But then like variants happen and now it's taken over. I don't think they expected it to be like a wave like this. I think they thought it'd be like October.
So my first question would be, why not? And my second question is,
no, maybe.
And this is where I'm agree with you on that, Jesse. Clearly, they didn't think this was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
But why not just have a contingency plan?
Just have an abundance of caution.
Just have it.
Yeah, for the taxi squad poses problems with your AHL team and your travels because you're carrying extra guys who just aren't playing. You know, for your taxi squad, they have to be in the quote bubble that the main roster players are in. That's how it worked last season. So you're taking like 5 guys away from just playing hockey. So I think that their worst case scenario is to do that. They don't want to have to do that. So you bank on the best case scenario, which is no taxi squad. And then if the worst case comes, then you add the players. But I think just opening up the salary cap and just having, hey, if a guy's on COVID, he's now on IR and doesn't count against the cap. Like what?
Yeah, why is that?
Why the taxi squad I get because there's logistics of human bodies traveling with other people. But in terms of cap fake money that the NHL literally writes down on a piece of paper and makes up consistently every year, why not just add to the fake money? That's absurd that we're sitting here and that's still a rule.
Honestly,
this is why the NHL struggles with the most basic.
Yeah. The salary cap sucks. I don't know how many times I need to tell you the salary cap sucks. It doesn't work. It's not effective. But
let's say it's awesome. Common sense says this year, it's fake money.
It doesn't matter.
Relax a little bit. That's it.
No, you know why? It's because Gary Bettman has hitched his wagon to this. The salary cap is his baby. It's like he gave birth to it.
But he's not going anywhere.
It's the thing. No, I know. But it's the thing that he is most proud of. Like when he closes out his career, I'm surprised he didn't mention it in his Hall of Fame speech. Like his biggest contribution to hockey, I bet in his own mind, is the fact that he got the owners the salary cap and the revenue share.
Gary Bettman is a great example for why you don't enter people into the Hall of Fame before they stop working.
Yeah, boy, honestly.
After this past year,
yeah.
It's great. Looks great.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So anyway, long story short, it's a bit funky or whatever, but at a certain point, like, drop the pretense, Gary. It's going to be okay. The owners are all still going to be billionaires after this is over. And the league is on track to make more money this season than they did in 2019 when they were tracking then. Like pre-pandemic, like they were on track to make $5 billion. This year they're on track to make $5.2 billion. That's fully almost $250 million more. Are you kidding me?
And
Come on,
ticket
guys.
sales are down, television viewing is down, and the numbers are still higher than they were before.
Yeah, and the owners are like, players, you still owe us money. And they're like, how about all that equity? Fuck you. We lost money. Fuck you. We lost money. Our equity's up.
And now the salary cap's going to go
They
up
just
in
sold
3
a
years.
small market Penguins team. And no offense, Pittsburgh, it is a small market. The Steelers are a small market team. They just sold the Penguins for next to $1 billion. That team that was going to move to Hamilton for nothing.
This will work better on YouTube,
right.
but this Santa Claus is valid criticism.
Uh-huh.
All right?
Okay.
And
all
this
right. Where are you going
mug
with
is
this?
NHL ownership.
Uh-huh.
This snowman is Gary Bettman.
Weird nerds.
Weird nerds.
Honestly, the Elon Musk meme that's been going around with like the Simpsons with the poo jumping in front of the gunshot.
Yeah.
Like where it's like valid criticism, like weird nerds. To me, that's how it feels when people defend the current structure of the salary cap. I understand the need for a salary cap. I do not understand why we do it this way.
Spoken like Alan Walsh's co-host.
It's a maniac.
Alan has
you're right.
infected
You know
your
what?
brain.
I'm biased. I never thought this before, but 20 episodes in, suddenly I do.
You know, okay. So it's been a lot of doom and gloom, and we've talked about a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Yesterday, in talking to friends and in the LFR, I talked about how I'm choosing optimism here. I'm just choosing it. Is it based in anything? It's based in a couple things.
Steve-tomism.
You can base pessimism in fact as well when it comes to this. I am choosing optimism. I think we're going to be fine. I'm thinking games are going to get played.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley Cup's going to get awarded.
May not be full capacity.
May not be full capacity.
But games are going to happen.
There's going to be, you're going to take a couple punches. Every, Muhammad Ali got punched a bunch in all of his wins. You're going to take some punches.
It's going to be full capacity because it'll be awarded to an American team. And it'll be full capacity in that building because the Tampa Bay Lightning did it in the middle of everything.
Well, the pandemic actually never hit Florida.